It all started with the unboxing of the Oppo Find X2 Pro and putting its design elements against the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro and the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. After that, we went straight into part 2, which was about charging from 0 to 100. Part 3 was about performance in an Antutu benchmark version 8 race here. And then part 4 was about the software department on all 3 devices. Part 5 was finally about the camera bumps on all 3 phones and testing out the video and photo quality of these 3 gorgeous devices. Guys, this is Technic. This is the final verdict. Let's go. Of course, design elements aside, it comes down to the price for most people over here, and all 3 of them are ridiculously priced. The most expensive being the S20 Ultra at $1,400, second most expensive being the Find X2 Pro at $999, and the Xiaomi Mi 10 at $710. I then added up all the prices and got a percentage. The lowest was the best, but then I reversed it to make sure that the highest percentage was the best in this decision over here, and the Xiaomi got the highest percent over here since it makes more sense for an overall total to be the highest percentage. Xiaomi, of course, the highest overall, and with price and overall percentage will change as we go from part to part. When it comes to design over here, I really love the vegan leather at the back of the Oppo Find X2 Pro. I dig the matte finish at the back of the Xiaomi, and the glossy finish at the back of the Samsung, not so much. Though the Samsung does keep a wonderful SD card slot option over there, which is always a nice touch. All of them have curved displays over there, and the Samsung and the Oppo are the only ones with 120Hz and 1440p displays, but the Oppo can do 1440p and 120Hz at the same time. The Xiaomi is locked to 1080p and is locked to 90Hz there. Here are the results that you guys gave me and your YouTube poll results on average over there after the 2 polls were put through my test here. 63% you guys voted for the Xiaomi, 19% over there for the Find X2 Pro, and 18% for the S20 Ultra. Though I voted the Xiaomi and Oppo the same, 40% a piece over there, because I absolutely love the one-of-a-kind design of the Oppo Find X2 Pro. So far we have 45% on the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro, an overall total, and 32% on the Oppo, with Samsung falling behind under 30% over there with an overall total. Part 3 was all about charging, and of course smaller battery, higher wattage charging block. The Oppo finished quicker over there. The Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra finished in 1 hour and 1 minute. Highest battery, lowest wattage, slightly smaller battery and slightly faster charging, 47 minutes for the Xiaomi and 38 minutes for the Oppo Find X2 Pro. Of course, I used my little formula here once again, and I added up all the times in minutes over here, got a lower percentage, then reversed it to get a higher percentage. The Find X2 Pro came ahead there with charging, but the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro is still ahead with the overall total, making it 41% for the Xiaomi, 34% on the Oppo, and 25% overall for the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra. Up next, we had an Antutu benchmark run on all of the devices. I did tune all the specs for the absolute most amount of power over here, and honestly guys, Antutu is not the main form of performance here. I did do a speed test on all of the devices, and the Samsung beat the Xiaomi by a hair, the Oppo beat the Samsung by a hair, and the Oppo absolutely destroyed the Xiaomi in a speed test. Though when we get the final points, the Xiaomi was more points for Antutu, second being the Oppo and third being the Samsung over here. Of course, no poll results were allocated over here since it is just to do with scores. Once again, I used the formula here, adding up the total of all the scores over here and then getting a percentage. I weighed the scores, 90% for scores, 10% for heat over here. The Samsung was the coolest when it came to the heat department, so the Xiaomi came in first there, the Oppo in second, and the S20 Ultra in third. The S20 Ultra was very close there because of the heat. Overall, the Xiaomi and Oppo is still in first and second place, with the Samsung being last. When it came to software, we had MIUI 11 running on the Xiaomi, ColorOS 7.1 on the Oppo, and Samsung Galaxy One UI running on the Samsung. I must say I absolutely love the refined movements of the new Xiaomi MIUI 11, though I still think that the Samsung Galaxy S20 Ultra's One UI 2.1 is the best over here. ColorOS 7.1 is my preference when it comes between that and the Xiaomi, though we have no wireless charging on the Oppo, and we have wireless and reverse wireless on the Xiaomi and the Samsung. So that is quite a big draw, and we have an ultrasonic sensor on the Samsung over here, which in my opinion is quite a big deal. We also have Bixby on the Samsung, which has improved quite a lot, and the others don't sport any form of voice recognition. Your votes over here and your vote YouTube poll average, 60% you voted for the Xiaomi on software, 13% for the Oppo, and 27% for the Samsung. I rate 40% for the S20 Ultra, 30% for the Find X, and 30% for the Xiaomi MIUI 11 over here. I put the Xiaomi and the Find X2 Pro pretty much on par when it comes to software, and the S20 Ultra being slightly better with One UI 2.1 over there. When it comes to camera, all of them do a fantastic job. We have 108 megapixel on the Xiaomi and the Samsung, 48 on the Oppo, but we do have quite a wide lens on the Oppo over there with a new Sony IMX689 sensor. It does an absolutely fantastic job, and honestly guys, my personal opinion, I prefer the photos on the Oppo almost every single time, the worst being on the Xiaomi, and the Oppo and Samsung are very similar here. The Xiaomi has very bad stabilization. I know that you guys have said that other videos show that it has good stabilization, but in my opinion and in my experience, the Xiaomi has terrible optical image stabilization when video recording. When it comes to night photography, once again, the Samsung is taking the crown over here, but the Oppo is very close to it, the Xiaomi being the worst of the bunch. And when it comes to night video, I think that the Oppo takes the cake this time around, with the Samsung coming in a very close second and the Xiaomi being the worst. When it comes to the front-facing cameras, we have 40 megapixels on the Samsung, which did an absolutely great job, and I think that the mic quality on the Xiaomi was the best overall when shooting selfie video, though we have 4K 60 frames per second selfie video on the Samsung. That is lacking on the other two devices, capped at 1080p 60 frames per second. You guys voted YouTube poll average over here, 59.5% on the Xiaomi, 14.5%, I mean come on guys, on the Find X2 Pro, and 26.5% on the S20 Ultra. I changed it up a bit and put the S20 Ultra and Find X2 Pro on par, 40% apiece, and 20% for the Mi 10 Pro, because in my opinion it is quite a bit worse than the other two devices. The Xiaomi is still better overall over here, and in the final overall department we have 40.5% overall for the Mi 10 Pro, 30.5%, 10% less on the Find X2 Pro, and 29% for the S20 Ultra. Though, I mean, I really do enjoy the Find X2 Pro. If you ask me guys, if you ask my personal opinion, that is probably the phone that I would go for. The price is in the middle, the camera is at the top, the charging is at the top. It is honestly my favorite phone here, but when it comes to price and bang for buck, you guys are right on point with voting the Xiaomi Mi 10 Pro as the best phone in this comparison. Guys, this is Technic, and I'll see you in the next one.